Have you noticed how one summer in childhood seemed like an eternity, but now years fly by in an instant? This isn't just a feeling, it's real science. Why is a year a whole era for a child, but barely anything for an adult? What happens in our brain as we age? Can we stop this or even slow it down? In this video, you'll learn why the brain speeds up time, what secrets memory holds, and most importantly, how to turn an ordinary day into a whole lifetime. We'll break down scientific experiments that prove this works. And the key thing, you'll understand that time doesn't just fly by. We let it go. Let's figure this out. The history of discovery. Back in the late 1800s, philosopher Paul Janet asked a strange question. Why does time speed up? And he noticed something amazing. For a 5-year-old child, 1 year is 20% of their entire life. For a 50-year-old, it's just 2%. Imagine a pie. If you eat 1/5, that's a huge piece. If you eat 1/50th, it's barely noticeable. Later, psychologist William James went further. He noticed that in childhood, each day brings new experiences, but as we age, days become similar to each other. The brain stops recording them. But for a long time, this was just philosophy. Only in the 2000s did scientists finally prove this was real. The math of perception. Imagine two people, a 7-year-old child and his 70-year-old grandfather. According to Janet's math, the child has already lived half his subjective life. A year for a 7-year-old is 20%. A year for a 70-year-old is just 1.5%. Huge difference. Each year after 50 feels 5 times shorter than in youth. There's another trick. Remember flip books, those picture books that create animation? For a child, there are 100 pages per minute. For an adult, 60. When you flip through slower, the movie ends faster. That's how our brain works. This isn't just a feeling, it's the math of our perception. The main secret, why the brain forgets days. Scientist David Eagleman conducted many experiments and discovered something astonishing. The brain doesn't record routine. Period. If you drive to work the same way every day, your brain just shuts off. It knows everything will be the same, and these days disappear from memory. They're like they never happened. But when something new occurs, a new route, an unfamiliar restaurant, travel, your brain works at full capacity. It records every detail, every sensation. And then, these days feel much longer. A child gets hundreds of new experiences daily. School, friends, new knowledge. The brain records all of it. An adult, in routine, gets 0 new experiences. An entire month turns into 1 gray day. This isn't a metaphor. This is literally what happens in your head. The chemistry of time, dopamine, the hormone of pleasure and attention. It directly controls how fast time seems to pass. Scientists even did an experiment on mice. When they stimulated dopamine neurons, the animals underestimated time. When you're having fun, time flies. When you're bored, time drags. But here's the paradox. When you're having a lot of fun, time subjectively flies fast. But later in memory, those moments stretch into eternity. Video games, the internet, social media increase dopamine. That's why you say only 20 minutes passed when 2 hours have gone by. People with Parkinson's disease who have low dopamine experience time as much slower. Memory paradoxes. When you're on vacation, days are slow and full of experiences, but then the entire month feels like a moment. This is the vacation paradox. The brain looks at time in 2 ways, in the moment and in memory. Usually they match, but sometimes they don't. During the pandemic, people said days are long, but months fly by. Sameness destroys memories. Days blur together. People over 40 best remember events from ages 15 to 25. This is the reminiscence bump. During this period, personality forms and the brain records events especially carefully. Scientific experiments. Neuroscientist David Eagleman conducted a crazy experiment. He dropped volunteers from a height of 46 meters into a net. The fall lasted 3 seconds. The people estimated it at 36% longer. Time didn't actually slow down. The brain simply recorded more details. It saw every frame.
Brain scans showed that in older people, neural states last longer but switch less frequently. That's why time seems accelerated to them. Another experiment. 4 to 5-year-old children watched event-filled videos. They said it lasted a long time. Adults watched the same video and said the opposite. Events seemed short to them.
The biology of acceleration. The brain has a pacemaker, an impulse generator that literally keeps time, like a metronome. And with age, this metronome slows down. Children make 3 to 5 quick eye movements per second. With age, this slows down. Heartbeat slows down. The slower the biological metronome, the faster time seems. Imagine, when you're young, your heart beats fast, fast, fast. That's many biological beats in 1 minute. When you're an adult, the heart is calmer, fewer beats. Young people are more sensitive to novelty. New events trigger dopamine release. Older people are less sensitive. It's all biology.
How to slow down time. First tip, seek novelty. It can be small. A new route to work, an unfamiliar restaurant, rearrange furniture at home. Your brain wakes up and starts recording. The day feels longer. Second tip, keep a diary. When you write about your day, you remember it. Days don't blur together. Third, travel. 2 weeks in a new country stretches into half a year of memories. Fourth, meditate. People who practice mindfulness experience time as slower. They feel less time pressure. Fifth, learn something new. A language, musical instrument, sport. These create dense neural connections. Your brain works actively and days become rich. Remember, routine life makes days long but years short. It should be the other way around.
The main conclusion. Time doesn't objectively speed up. The universe works the same for everyone. It's our perception that changes. The brain simply stops recording monotonous days. And here's the key. You can change this. It's not inevitable. It's not a sentence. It's a choice. Neuroscientist Eagleman says, time and memory are inseparable. To slow time down is to learn to remember. Life doesn't accelerate with age. We just live on autopilot. The brain stopped recording. But you can change this. Just one new habit a week, and the year will gain depth. The brightest moments of life aren't the ones that lasted objectively long, but those filled with novelty and attention. Live like that. Notice details, seek the new, and time will slow down, not in physics, but in memory. And that's what matters.